Somewhere right now, a 28-year-old is standing in an open house, running their fingers along a kitchen counter that isn't theirs yet, doing math in their head that they don't actually know how to do. They think buying is the smart adult choice and renting is throwing money away. That belief feels true. It has felt true for decades. But it is one of the most expensive assumptions a person can carry into adulthood, because the real math almost never matches the feeling. Here is the number nobody says out loud at the open house. When you buy a home, roughly 2 to 5% of the purchase price disappears immediately into closing costs, and it never comes back. That is before you've painted a single wall. So if a home costs $300,000, somewhere between $6,000 and $15,000 is just gone the moment you sign, which means the mortgage payment people compare to rent is already lying to them. A rent payment is the full cost of housing for that month. A mortgage payment is not. Hidden inside it are property taxes, homeowners insurance, and if the down payment was small, private mortgage insurance on top of that. So a $2,000 mortgage payment might actually only put $600 toward the thing that builds you wealth, the equity. And that is exactly why comparing rent to a mortgage payment is comparing two different products and calling them the same thing. Now here's the part that actually changes the decision. In the early years of almost any mortgage, the majority of each payment goes to interest, not principal. On a standard 30-year loan, in year 1, 70 to 80% of every payment is interest, meaning it is rent you are paying to the bank instead of a landlord. You are still renting. You are just renting money. But here is the thing. Homes also need maintenance, and this is the cost that destroys more home budgets than any other single number. The typical estimate is 1 to 2% of the home's value every single year. On that same $300,000 house, that is $3,000 to $6,000 a year, and it does not care if you had a good year financially. The roof does not wait for a raise. The water heater does not check your savings account first. So when you add closing costs, property tax, insurance, maintenance, and the interest you're paying in year 1, the true monthly cost of owning that home is often 30 to 50% higher than the mortgage number on the listing, which is why so many new homeowners feel financially strangled in year 1 despite doing everything the way they were told to. Renting has the opposite problem. A renter builds zero equity. Every dollar is spent, not invested, and that is real. But here is the part almost nobody accounts for. The difference between renting and owning is not just a dollar amount, it's an opportunity. If renting is cheaper than owning in a given month, and the renter invests that difference, instead of spending it, the math flips in ways that surprise almost everyone. Take an average difference of $800 a month between renting and the true cost of owning. Invested at a historical stock market average of about 7% a year, over 10 years, that becomes roughly $130,000. Over 20 years, it becomes close to $400,000. That is not a small number sitting next to home equity. In many markets, that beats the equity gained from owning outright. This is why financial advisors have a phrase for it, the price-to-rent ratio. You take the price of a home and divide it by how much it would cost to rent a similar place for 1 year. Below 15, buying usually wins over time. Above 20, renting and investing, the difference usually wins. Most major cities right now sit above 20, which means the math in a lot of places quietly favors renting, even though almost nobody believes that emotionally. But the math is not the whole story, and this is where most financial content gets it wrong. Time changes everything. A mortgage is a bet on staying still. The first few years of a 30-year loan are so interest-heavy that if you sell in year 3 or 4, you may have paid tens of thousands of dollars and barely dented what you owe. Which means the break-even point for buying, the moment it actually becomes cheaper than renting, is usually 5 to 7 years, sometimes longer depending on the market. So the real question was never rent versus buy. It was always, how long am I actually going to stay? Someone buying a home they'll live in for 15 years is playing an entirely different game than someone buying a home they might leave in 2 years for a new job. The first person is very likely to come out ahead. The second person is very likely to lose money, even while believing the whole time that they were building wealth. And that is exactly why so many people feel financially behind, despite doing what they were told was responsible. They bought at the wrong time in their life, not because the math of owning is bad, but because their timeline didn't match what the math requires to work. There is also a psychological cost that never shows up in any calculator. Owning a home removes flexibility. If a better job appears across the country, a homeowner has to sell first, often at a loss if the timing is wrong, while a renter can simply leave when the lease ends. That flexibility has a price, and for people early in their career, it might be worth more than the equity they'd be giving up. None of this means renting is right and buying is wrong. It means the two aren't actually competing on the same scoreboard. Buying is a long, slow bet on staying in one place and absorbing years of interest and upkeep before the equity truly outweighs the cost. Renting is a short-term flexible cost that only builds wealth if the saved difference is actually invested instead of spent on a slightly bigger apartment or a nicer car. So the person standing in that open house running their fingers along the counter isn't really choosing between throwing money away and building wealth. They're choosing between two different timelines, two different kinds of risk, and two different definitions of what security even means. And the moment they understand that, the question stops being which one is smarter and starts being which one actually fits the life they're about to live.